And she has graciously offered to take notes. So thank you very much. I'm going to share a document. Yes, right there. And I'm going to do it. View, Lijo. There we go. Can you see that screen?
Yes.
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 Perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Perfect. So at the outset, my colleague Michelle Batty and I want to thank you for being with us this afternoon. We're hoping to offer you some helpful tools, gather your wisdom, and explore some ideas that will serve each of our chapters well. This presentation is being recorded and kept for the future to be shared with the colleagues on the website, and they will be able to access the information for those that weren't able to be with us today. The document that I am using will be sent to each of you, so you don't have to worry. Everything that you will see on the screen will be sent to each of you for future reference and use. You may have noticed that we referred to these get-togethers as chats. And it's important, that word is important because therein lies the magic. The magic is created by your active participation, and it's the key ingredient in this afternoon's success. And we thank you in advance for your thoughts, ideas, opinions, and questions. Over to you, Michelle.
Okay, welcome everyone. I would like to begin by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples of all the lands that we are on today. While we meet today on a virtual platform, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improving our own understanding of local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Please join me in a moment of reflection to acknowledge the effect of residential schools and colonialism on Indigenous families and communities, and to consider how we are and can each, in our own way, try to move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. The agenda is in front of us. It has some flexibility in it. And I know that Renata, you've kindly offered to take notes, and that's great. And if there's elements, by the way, this is not meant to be a classroom environment, even though if there's some tools being shared and such. So feel free to ask questions, interject at any point in time. It's meant to be very relaxed and pleasant and a shared experience for all of us. So I will now turn it over to you again, Michelle.
So we decided to start with a little bit of fun. We have a little short survey that each of you will be able to complete. It's from Big Sisters, Big Brothers of Canada, and it's entitled, "What Kind of Mentor Are You?" So it's the quiz to discover your mentoring style and see how your unique strengths can make a difference. Each one of us brings unique skills, knowledge, and expertise. So it is a personality quiz that is shows how you naturally connect, care, and support the people around you. So it's a very simplified version of True Colors and the Myers-Briggs personality tests that are out there for those of you that are aware of that. So Diane has put the link in the chat. So if you go to the chat and click on the link, you can fill out your quiz. There's only 6 questions, and then we're going to share what has come up.
And I'll put the timer on this for 5 minutes.
Did you put the link back up? Because I can't see it.
It's
Are
in the
you-
chat.
Are you in the chat to the right?
No, I'm not.
Okay, if you go
Okay.
at the bottom of your screen.
Yes, I have it. Thank you.
Perfect, perfect.
Excuse me, I
Yeah.
got kicked out. So I clicked that link and got kicked off.
Okay, well, go at it again. Go click in the chat. You should be able to get back on it.
Okay, I'll try. I might get kicked out again though.
Hmm.
Where is it? It's not in my chat.
It's in the chat. It should be in there.
No, I don't see it now.
Okay,
I had to rejoin though.
okay, so let me see what I can do with this. Okay, so you haven't got any of our chats. Okay, so just bear with me for a second here.
Okay. Yeah, no, I clicked the link and got kicked off.
How dare
Took me
they?
a while to get back in.
How dare they?
Well,
The unmitigated gall.
kind of scared to click it now. I'm on an iPad. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Probably.
It shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't.
No.
Okay, so I've just sent it back in the chat.
Okay. Let me try this again.
So everyone else is
There it goes.
up to speed? We're good?
So what we
But
did what we did this morning is people started just posting in chat what they were. And then that made it easier for us to see. So if you want to just write in what you came up with.
Oh, I have to write that in. I
No,
will-
you don't have to. You can if you wish.
Okay. Because I already came back to this. I read what it said I'm supposed to be.
So once we've read that, we then go back down to press chat, or how do we
Uh,
get off
Just
it?
Oh, just go back into your Zoom. Your Zoom screen should still be there.
yeah.
Okay.
Maria, Valerie speaking. What do we do with the share your results? Facebook, X, or in?
Oh, I love the koala bear.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a personal choice sharing on that so it's to do with the Big Brothers Big Sisters link.
Okay, so
So
we
you
don't need to do it.
share there. No, we're just,
Oh,
if you want to write in chat what you are.
yeah. Okay, thank
so
you.
I've lost the Zoom screen.
What
I
we're
can
going
hear
to
you.
do too is we will, when we send out the information, we'll send out the description of each personality trait to everyone so that you can read it and compare. So there's 4 different types of mentors. So there's the beacon, the calm guiding presence who helps others feel safe and seen. The anchor, the dependable support that people count on no matter what. The challenger, the one who helps others grow by believing in their potential. And the fire spark, help others dream big and see new possibilities. So the beauty of this is that there's certain strengths and personality traits that each of us have, and there's a lot of overlap between the different types of mentors there. But it gives an opportunity to hone in on the specific strengths that individuals have in your chapter and while you work together. So the ones are coming up. Oh, we have a couple of challengers this morning. We had no
No,
challengers.
no, that's good.
If I can interrupt, I think Janice is having a hard time coming back onto the
I'm-
Zoom screen.
I am back now, but
Okay.
it took a lot of clicks to get there.
Great,
I
good.
actually rejoined the Zoom meeting, but I could hear everything you guys were saying, by the way.
We can see you.
We see your
But
smile.
I can
We
see
see-
you now, so that's the important thing.
Yes.
So one of the things we did this morning is that each of us had the opportunity to, talk about if you wished, the designation that you had and your thoughts about that. So was there someone I'll just start, let's see. I'll just go by my screen here. How about, Valerie, how about you?
In what respect? Sorry, I was
What
trying to.
was your designation, Valerie?
Oh,
Anchor.
my designation is anchor.
And did that fit for you?
I think it did. People can count on me, and I've learned to listen and not make suggestions or offer advice.
Mm-hmm.
Learned that the hard way by sending out a lot of advice and getting nowhere. So yeah, I think it was realistic for me. I don't remember all the other things, but
They give you quite a bit. And,
oh, there I am. Yeah, and I'm loyal too. That didn't come up anywhere, but I am loyal to the nth degree.
Okay, thank you, Valerie. Norma?
Yes, I think it said I was an anchor and probably a challenger and a beacon. Because I try to listen without offering too much advice. And I like to be there. if anyone needs me.
That's an interesting point, because what we were talking about too this morning is how you may have one predominant one, but you're also, we're all complex individuals, and you might have another one that's pretty close. So you're more than one, and you might be, all of them you could fit at some point and with some activities, but it highlights the one that is presenting the strongest at this particular moment in time. Okay, Marion, did you want to go?
Mine was an anchor as well. And I do really feel that fits me. I've always been a caring person, so I listen to people as to what they need and try and support them and be there for them. I'm sometimes being accused of not looking after myself, where I'm trying to look after everybody else. So, and when I had my colors done, I was gold, and that seems to fit into the same category as well. Being well organized and just trying to help people solve their own problems and being there and caring for them.
Well, thank you for sharing, Marion. Janice?
I also was an anchor. But then when I read the challenger part, that also applied. I guess the former teacher part in me came out in the survey. The one problem I had with the survey was the one about the book, and I could have put all of them down.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. So I kind of just picked one. I don't know if that made a difference or not, but yeah.
Yeah, for some questions, we found that people were saying definitely this one. Others is, well, it could be this, or it could be this one. Which one is the most prominent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Colleen? You're on mute.
You're on mute, Colleen.
There we go. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm not sure where everyone got the anchor and the challenger and fire spark from, because mine came up with a total different answer, or I didn't follow it through far enough, maybe. But with the answer I got, I feel that fits in with an anchor as well. I like to guide everyone through whatever problems they might be arising with. And just making sure that everyone's organized and knowing what they should be doing for whatever causes there should be happening. If someone has a problem, I'm there to help them in any way I can. I think that's probably covering me as to being grounded, loyal, and there when it matters. I don't know if that fits in with anchor, and I don't know why.
Oh yeah, it does. The dependable support that
Right,
people can
yeah.
count on no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the anchor.
Yeah. So I don't know why maybe I didn't go far enough through to pick one of those for them to come up, but that's what came up
Well, it
on
should
my
pop up, so
screen.
yeah.
So anyway,
oh, thank you. Penny?
thanks.
I'm a challenger, and sometimes I've been told I'm bossy. So, but I like to see people reach their highest potential. That's about it.
Okay, thank you, Penny. Where are we going? Stephanie?
Well, I'm surprised at my result. I came up as a challenger, but I do see myself in some of the other ones too. But yeah, fascinating exercise, and I'll have to look at all the categories more thoroughly after the call.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to send that information out, because it's just kind of a fun thing, and it just really highlights the specific skills and personality traits that attract IODE members, right? So that I think is really a good thing. Margaret?
It told me I was an anchor as well. Maybe that's what IoT is mostly made up of, I guess.
And that fit for you? Like that made sense to you?
It did make sense, yes. Yeah. I know I had one friend and she would say, oh, when I would visit her, and basically I listened most of the time, talked a little bit, but she always said, I feel so much better every time we have a chat together. So I guess.
Well,
yeah.
that's a nice positive comment to receive.
Yes.
So I see that Linda Greiner joined us. Linda, we're doing the personality quiz. The link is in the chat if you want to do it. There's only 6 questions. And then we're just sharing what but if you want to save it till later, then that's okay too.
Okay, I'm sorry I came in late. I was scheduled for this morning, but I was busy and couldn't make it, and I thought I could just join this afternoon. So thank you for allowing me to do that.
Well, you were busy doing IODE work, so our chapter's chocolate fundraiser. So Beverly, were you able to?
Yes, I did get to do it. Mine was anchor as well, but I almost feel that in some ways the questions were wasn't sure what to answer for some of them. But for some people, I probably am an anchor, but I don't think I am for everybody. So I think in all those questions, you can be a challenger in some respects with your kids, but an anchor in another respect with someone else, right?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's very it's similar with the true colors because they have the gold, green, blue, and orange colors. And you can be some of all of them. Sometimes it depends on the situation that you're in. But there always seems to be one that kind of is more prominent than any of the others. And it's a way of like these are skills that people have that are so useful in retaining members, recruiting members, just being a part of all the activities in IODE. Now, I know Renata did not have a chance to do it. And Diane, did you want to share anything?
Fire Spark.
And did you want to share anything about that or?
Not surprised.
Not surprised, yeah. And I am also a Fire Spark. And same thing, it resonated with me. I don't know, Linda, if you've had a chance to finish the quiz or your results have come up.
You're on mute, love.
You're on mute, Linda. Oh,
I'm sorry, I haven't been able to do it. Can I do it later?
Sure, you can do it later. It does. It's
actually part of this also helps us when we're engaging people in various roles within our chapters or various tasks or various projects, because you don't want 5 fire sparks all at the same place at the same time. Probably not a good idea. So it's also helpful, and you guys may want to try this within your own. I realize that you guys have half a day, and it's a little quieter this afternoon than it was this morning. It was much more animated this morning, but that's okay. That's perfect. But you may want to try this within your teams too. As I said, you're going to be receiving all these documents, so the link will be in there. It may be fun to see what other people are within our own chapters. It may help us explain some stuff. I am going. Sorry.
Well, just between the 2 surveys and quizzes from this morning and this afternoon, there's a higher percentage of anchors.
Yep.
In the membership that attended the membership workshop. So I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you remind us what the Fire Start is?
Fire Spark?
Spark, sorry.
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Help others dream big and see new possibilities.
Smoking wacky tobacco is a humorous way of saying it.
Okay.
There is no such thing as impossible. You know, the Don Quixotes chasing windmills? That's us.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's
And I can
really
see the
good to
comment then
have
about
it.
not wanting 5 of them in one chapter.
Oh, heavens to Betsy. No, 5 in 1 chapter is fine, but 5 in 1
Or
project.
5 on one project. You
Oy,
might
oy,
not
oy,
actually
oy,
get,
oy, 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 oy.
Okay. Thank you
Well,
for
then, you
clarifying
know,
that.
that would explain why sometimes you're going in different directions
Mm.
when you have so many ideas flowing.
We could do this, we could do that, we could do the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at some point we got to land on it and do it.
At some point, you need an anchor to say, okay, now.
Where are we going? Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
grounding. A little bit of grounding, as long as we're not grounded. Are we good, Michelle? Yes?
And the beacon for safety, like that's really good. Like there's,
Yeah.
you know, and you know who those people are. I think you can pick
Yeah.
them out in the chapter. Because we kind of did a little guessing, a few people. Well, guess what I am? And then it's like, okay, when you stop to think about it, you can almost see which one the person is.
Mm. Good.
Okay, so any other comments about this little personality quiz? Just I thought it was kind of nice just to have a little bit of fun and get to know yourselves and each other.
Thank you, Michelle. It's appreciated. Now, we mentioned that we were going to be offering some tools. This is one of them. But you can't see this, so I got to put a slideshow. Can you see this? Can
Yes.
everyone see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through this in complete detail because it is pretty self-explanatory. But I know that we often do things so much by rote that it's almost instinctive. But I think that there's some things that are helpful to consider when we're looking at membership and building the membership. And I'm a big fan of checklists. Many of you already know that. But it's a question of looking, it's simply put, this was actually created a number of years ago by a colleague and it got reformatted, but the essence is there. And I think that one of the things we get hung up on is we don't always have or take the time to figure out what we're doing and why we're doing it. In the sense that we need to set some clear goals. So are we looking to, we want new members? Wonderful. Do we want a certain segment of new members, like people under, I don't know, university students? Do we want people under 45? Do we want, who is it we're looking to recruit and how do we go about that? And really give it some thought before we start saying, well, yeah, we got to get new members, which are very important, by the way, but is who are we going after? Why are we going after them? And how are we going to try and approach them? And when it says the second point of a compelling message, because we're in IODE, we're all passionate about it and we all truly care. We don't sometimes think, is the message compelling for the person that's listening to it? And there's an old exercise they used to say, if you want to know the value or the clarity of your communications, ask a grade 5. And it's not such a dumb idea because they're sharp enough to catch it and don't have to explain it. Or if you have to explain it, your message isn't clear enough. And we have to remember that if these people are not at all familiar with IODE, there's a bit of salesmanship in it for sure, but it's creating the message that will resonate with the people we are exchanging with, whether it's written, oral, whatever format we're doing it. So it's sometimes not a bad idea to say, we're thinking of saying this, give it off to a grade 5 in your family or someone that knows nothing about IOD and say, what does this project? What does this tell you? And it's quite interesting what the feedback they give us. And it just helps us make it even more powerful. We all know about the power and the strength of personal relationships. So if members of our chapters have personal relationships and they shoulder tap a colleague to come and join, the power obviously is greater, or there's a bit better chance that the person will come and join us. And we know about hosting events. We've done all that. The marketing and the outreach, it's a very helpful thing. And thanks to Renata and team, we have tools that the national office has created, as well as internal tools that are created within the chapters to be able to share our message. But once again, and I'm repeating this, we have to be careful in how we're crafting the compelling message to make sure it's not an echo chamber for ourselves. The easy membership options, yes, we know we have processes, we know we have protocols, we know we have a constitution, we know we have rules and regulations, but for a new person, none of those things are important. So maybe when we're speaking with it, make it as simple as possible to be able to be a member and explain the rules when it's necessary to explain it. I'll give a personal example. It took me 1 year to join the IOD. 1 year. You'd swear I was breaking into Fort Knox. I'd gone to the national office, didn't get answered. I guess it was a switch there. Don't know how it happened. It took 1 year. It should not be that hard to join IOD. Engagement, we know about that, sending thank you notes. I'm sure you all do that already. And track and evaluate. So we've got to figure out who we want to approach. How do we want to approach them? Do it. See how what the results are, and then evaluate. And I have, we've done it sometimes, some of the group and I have done it, but there's a little thing called a postmortem, but there's a very simple way to do an evaluation on something. And it's 3 words, 3 phrases. What to start, what to stop, and what to continue. So when we've done, for example, a membership campaign, and we've seen some of the parts that were excellent and that were outstanding, were rousing success, well, we want to continue that. If we see that, some ideas we tried didn't quite do what we wanted to do, then maybe we've either got to start something a little bit different or stop it. So it's 3 words: stop, start, continue. And when we do that at the end of our efforts, we have a good sense of what was working well and what to repeat, or what to put aside for another day and start from scratch. The texts that are written there, it is just merely as a suggestion. You all have your own way of wording things, but it might be helpful if you have the suggestion and a welcome package. Now that welcome package will be, in some cases, I can speak for my chapter, the welcome package is actually pretty digital. We also have paper versions, but it's quite digital. And we actually spoke about getting some more digital tools to be able to grab the eye a little bit more. And a proposed text. As I said, these are only suggestions. They have worked with others because they've been used by others. But as I said, we'll send this off to you and you can read it at your leisure and take your time and have a peek at it. Back over to you, Michelle. Oh, so sorry. Question before. Are there any questions or comments? Or is this like same old, already do this? Nothing new? Nobody's answering here. Yes, Valerie.
Okay. My dad was a Rotarian. He was involved in various other organizations as well. And when somebody or even himself came up with a new project, he got really frustrated when not everybody was on board. And because he was the kind of person that wouldn't quit, it took him a long time to realize that if nobody wants to help, nobody wants to do it, then we cannot do it. Mm-hmm. That was very tough for him to, it was really hard on him to accept that nobody wanted to do it. Mm. And I think I'm somewhat the same myself. I'm often the last man standing, mm-hmm. But I am coming to that crossroad where I think, okay, if I'm the only one that wants to do it, then maybe we don't need to do it.
Well, and also sometimes, Valerie, what I think is timing has to do with it too. sometimes it's not the idea. It's sometimes the timing of it, you know, either the bandwidth of people or what they're living in their personal lives, or just doesn't light them up. But I hear you being passionate and wanting to charge forth, and then you realize that you're looking behind and there's nobody there. And it's disheartening, and it hurts. And I understand that. I hear what you're saying. Colleen.
Yes, I fully agree on the why part of the conversation to speak of new members, especially in our circumstance. We have a thrift store, and a lot of others do have thrift stores. And a lot of our members, I've noticed in the past, just want to work in a thrift store. They know nothing and care nothing about why we're there. We're there for IODE. We're there as a fund. This is our fundraiser. This is what we do, and this is how we promote our community.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel the why is very important when you're first acknowledging and speaking to someone, and also asking them what is their purpose of joining us, right?
What are they looking for?
What are they wanting out of this? Yeah.
Mm. But you know what? I don't think it's wrong. Now I'm going to throw this out, and I may get some backlash on it, but that's okay. I don't think it's wrong if someone does not want to get engaged to the degree of missional vantage point. You know what I mean? If they want to work in a thrift store, first of all, they're volunteers, correct?
Yeah.
So automatically they're living one of our values, which is community service. Now
That's
they
right.
may not buy all the rest of what comes with it, but they're already, what I have found in my journey is that what's important, and I think, and you hit on it, is what are they looking for, and can we find a place at our table for them? And, you know, I think it's totally all right because they're giving back.
That is true. That is very true. Not everyone is in it for the whole aspect of the situation, right? And every individual is different. And yes, we need workers. We need workers in the thrift store that will be willing to come in and be willing to commit. Commitment is another big thing on some of the members in the past that I've noticed. It's very difficult for some people to make a commitment. They lose interest, I guess. Maybe because the leaders are guiding them the wrong direction. I don't know. But also another thing is trying to fill out officer positions. It's like pulling teeth every year. It's like they feel the world's coming down on them if they have to fill out a form at the end of the year, or gather what they've done for the whole year.
Colleen,
so there's so many different things.
But Colleen, I think there was, maybe you weren't able to be with us, but there was a leadership chat. Yeah. And once it's uploaded to the web, you may want to just consult it, because there were some very good ideas that came in there that may help with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, what is it? You take an elephant one bite at a time.
Right.
I think that's all we can do.
Yeah, you're mainly bragging about what you've done all year rather than filling out a report. Right.
Yeah.
One of the things I would like to add is that I think one of the beauties of IODE that I found is that you can be super busy if you want to be super busy and jump in both feet, or you could be less busy. And sometimes it depends on family circumstances, health, commitments, work, whatever it is. And but every single contribution that any member makes helps the bigger whole. And I find that that's such a beautiful concept when we have people who, maybe they just want to do knitting and donate, which is such a beautiful skill, which look at how many stockings we, well, I'm talking about Ontario for their project, and that we're able to, they were aiming for 125 and they got well over 300. So, there's, benefits in small ways and big ways.
And I think that's a perfect segue for your portion, Michelle.
Yes, it is. Okay. So, this is the part that we're having you're going to do more work. So we looked at, and actually, Janice, I had told Karen Dalton this morning that we're stealing your ideas from your workshop. And so we're going to ask everybody.
Take that as an honor.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, when there's great ideas out there, we're going to use them. So we would like everyone to grab a pen and paper, because we're going to give you 2 questions. And we're going to time you so that you can jot down some ideas, and then we're going to have an opportunity for everybody to share. So I'm going to do it just a little bit different, because people this morning, the 2 questions were intermingled. So I think that we're going to ask the 2 questions. You can write them separate, but then when we share, we'll do them together, because it just kind of makes sense after our experience this morning. So the question now, number 1. So you've had the personality quiz. You have a really good foundational base of your skills and strengths in that. So what strengths do you personally bring in recruiting new members? So if you can think of maybe 3 points. And the second question, I'll repeat them again. And instead of asking people what their challenges are, because we've talked about that so many times, jotting down what opportunities that you can use to recruit members. So we'll look at it in the ways of what strengths do you have personally in recruiting new members? So what helps you to engage with other people so that they want to join IODE? What strategies have you used to encourage women to join IODE? And then list the opportunities that you can use to recruit new members. So looking at yourself, what strengths you bring to it, and then what opportunities you can use. So Diane,
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And we're done.
Okay, so I'm just going to go along my screen. That makes it easier to keep track. Linda Greiner, would you be interested in sharing what your strengths were and opportunities?
Okay, I feel that I possess the passion for membership, and I have the enthusiasm, and hopefully, you know how enthusiasm can be so catching. And I also feel that because of my participation in several activities or committees or anything like this, I've gained a lot of knowledge and experience, so that I can basically share that with whoever might I might come across with. And I just think that being positive and being pleasant, and not forcing anyone is also a good is one strength. I never force anyone at all. I give them the option to make their own minds about things, and then also the desire. I feel like I just don't give up once I talk to someone. I don't give up. I try and give them the opportunity to either come back to me or follow them up. That's under that. Did you want me to go to the second question, or are we going
Sure,
on?
might as well, because there'll be overlap. Yeah.
I feel that every time, there's no set time. I think every time is an opportunity to recruit membership, or to even speak about IODE. So it doesn't matter. You could be, in a lineup at Tim Hortons, or you could be watching a game and there's a parent beside you and all that sort of thing. And by wearing something that tells them, like a button or your IOD badge or an IOD shirt, that is an opportunity to open up conversation about IOD. And and I think that actually just talking, and you know that I do a lot of it. So I think sometimes you could be talking about other things, but somehow you can focus it to go into something like IOD. So that's about it. And also, one more thing about opportunities is always inviting someone to any IOD event, whether they're, a sale or a convention or a breakfast or luncheon. Just inviting somebody. That's it.
Thank you, Linda. Margaret, did you want to share?
Well, I agree with what Linda has said, and having knowledge, having information to give people, because a lot of people say, well, what is IODE? What do you do anyway? And why do you need more members? What's going on? So if you can provide some information and what you do in your own community, as in the service and in education and citizenship, would be helpful, I would think. And then there's the opportunities. Well, a lot of people, we have our chapter, we do a bridge luncheon, and we have about 5 people who say, we like to help you, but we just don't want to commit to being a member. So maybe after they help us for a while, they may decide that they would become members. So if you could approach people in your social groups, that I belong to a bowling group, and it could be some of those people, if I get brave enough to approach them, and we have time in between things. In a Bible study group, we gave out the bookmarks to all the people there the other night. And one of them is going to retire this week from her regular job. So I try to contact new retirees before they get involved with a lot of other people.
Excellent suggestion. And what we were talking about, having the same values and finding out what people are interested in really is important. Thank you, Margaret. Penny?
one thing that we have found helpful is inviting different friends, neighbors, acquaintances to a wine and cheese party. We have a Christmas dinner, so we've got quite a number of people who are not members who are coming to that. Some of whom are aware of IODE, some who are not. And we have a big house tour every year, which we cannot run without auxiliary people who are not IODE members. So the coordinator this year has had a great idea, and that is to invite everyone who helped at the house tour to a debriefing meeting. And that way it sort of encourages people, it enlightens people as to what we do, why we do it, and where we're headed. So we're sort of hoping that the people who have helped us with the house tour as hostesses will be interested in becoming members as well. So but I think that's about it.
And did you want to share a strength that you personally bring to recruiting new members?
I try to have a very honest and friendly approach. Some people right away, I've found the biggest thing is that people will say, I don't want to become a member because I don't want to fundraise. I don't want to be involved in that. And so we try, our executive really tries to tell people that you can become a member, but you don't have to fundraise. And to be honest with you, the only fundraiser that we really have is when we sell geraniums in the early spring in May, because our house tour is very popular. So we've got merchants as well as our op shop and members that sell tickets, and they're not hard to get rid of. So I don't really consider that to be the fundraiser. So once people realize that, oh, well, if I don't have to sell geraniums, if I don't have to approach people for money, then yeah, that might not be a bad thing to belong to.
Okay, well, thank you, Penny.
That's about it for me.
Yeah. Marion?
Sorry, I had a problem unmuting myself there. One thing I do personally is I listen very carefully when some of our members talk about a friend that has an interest in IODE, might like to know a little bit more about it. Then I make sure I get contact information on that person and I call them and I let them know that I'm the membership officer, that I would like to give them all the information that they would like on what we do and who we are, and let them know about our upcoming meetings and so on. And, you know, if they get quite serious about it, then I'll actually even email them an agenda of our upcoming meetings so they know what we're doing and where we are at. And I have found that to be very useful. And especially the more serious they get, then the more I will talk back and forth with them, and have been fairly successful with several new upcoming members. So that's been very helpful. And with any events that we do have, we try and have literature there. You know, we have a fashion show and we have a pancake breakfast. We have a number of events that we always make sure we've got literature. We have our bookmarks that we've had at the last recent events. And we're very, very fortunate, being a small community, that we have a local newspaper, and they're awesome for doing write-ups about upcoming events and then taking pictures and showing pictures of what we have done. So that makes the whole community more aware of us. And also we've worked with with another group, with the Kinsmen. We have a Renaissance Festival that goes on once a year. So the Kinsmen and the IODE are working together, and that spreads what IODE does as well. It's good PR for us. So we have a number of different opportunities for promoting IODE in some of those aspects.
So there's lots of community awareness, similar to what Penny was talking about.
Right.
And your anchor was coming out really loud and clear there, Marion, about listening carefully. And
Thank you.
Hey, Stephanie?
I think for my strength, I wrote down patience. I think you have to have the patience to allow a prospective member to make their decision on when it's time to join. You might have to revisit those invitations and continually follow up without pressure, but always it's not a one-shot deal. For opportunities, I think the opportunity is to assess the circumstances around and adjust to them to bring it back to IODE. It's similar to what Linda Greiner was saying. And explore the key interests and weave it back into IODE, because we are really a one-stop shop for whatever kind of service anyone does. We can weave it back into IODE. Positivity is a big one, and awareness of potential opportunities. So giving the prospective member a line of sight to how their work can contribute to the mission of IODE, so they immediately know they're going to be making a difference, whether that be on a project or knitting or some other skill. But let them see that that they immediately can make a difference in being part of the organization.
Thank you, Stephanie. Beverly?
Well, I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think I've ever recruited anybody except for one person, and I begged her to join me. So there's other members in our chapter that do a great job, and they bring in members. And the only time that if I'm out volunteering for like the Christmas kettle or the poppies, and people come by and they ask us, like, who are you? What are you doing here? Because they see we do advertise that we're doing that to help that particular group. So we'll talk to them and explain who we are. I don't think I've ever been able to get anybody to join from doing that, but they do learn a little bit more about us, because it's amazing how many people don't know what IODE is.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would just say enthusiasm, because I am enthusiastic about what I'm doing. I'm the president of my chapter. I've been the president for, I'm going to say, 7 years now. And I do enjoy it. So.
Well, you know what I say is never underestimate the impact that you have, because those little seeds that you are planting every time you're out there doing IODE awareness is making an impact, and you never know who might join.
True.
Might have a sense of affiliation, because there's different ways of recruiting. And, I know that the communities where they have lots of visibility have larger membership populations, right? Their chapters have many more members, but the smaller chapters are also making big contributions in their communities. They just may not be as visible as some of the other chapters.
Yes, true.
So thank you for sharing that, Beverly. Colleen.
Here, sorry, I had to unmute. Everybody's covered pretty much everything that I sort of had written down. what strengths do I personally bring? I believe it's the enjoyment of the organization and sharing that with other people outside of the organization. The fun that we do have while we're open to our customers at the thrift store can give a good vibration to think that maybe they should join as well, because it's a great place to be. Gratitude also to giving back to the community is another big strength of mine, I believe, which that's what we're all about. For opportunities, I put promote as casual conversation and listen for open questions from other people that come into the store or wherever you're out in the public, whatever you're doing, even with family members. And very important to be involved as a volunteer in your community with other things that are going on from other organizations in the community. It gets you out there, and it gets you to promote what IODE is all about and why you're there. That pretty much sums up my experience with getting members for IODE.
Yeah, so some pretty powerful, positive vibrations coming there. I'm going to use your terms.
Thanks.
And yeah, I know, and you know, it resonated with me, and you know, being involved elsewhere in your community, and you know, maybe other people want to join IODE too.
Yeah.
You know, there's some similarities there. Well, thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
Okay, for questions, what strength do I bring? I think one of my strengths is my belief in the value of IOD and the work it does. Can't read my own writing. Anyway, I'll go on to the third. Do as much or as I let people know that they can do as much or as little as they want to do. It doesn't have to take all of your time. And I guess that ties in with doing as much or as little as a person wants to do. And in terms of opportunities I use to promote IODE, I put a copy of Echoes and the IOD Be the Change brochure in whatever I'm donating, whether it's the baby toques to the hospital or elsewhere. And I have car decals on my car that people ask about, and I wear my badges and buttons. I wear my badges, especially if I'm going to a reception of some sort of, you know, anything like that, a volunteer event. And through the Purdy's chocolate sales, I've had an opportunity to tell people about IOD. Oh, I've never heard of that. So I tell them. And then when I'm giving the chocolates out, I put a Echoes magazine in with their chocolates. And actually, I've got a few gray bookmarks, so I'll use them up as well when I deliver.
That's a great idea, because we also do the Purdy's chocolates. And, you know, along with some, I know a lot of times people buy them for Christmas gifts too. Why not add a bookmark?
And then I have the capacity to make labels. Thanks very much to Stephanie. So I will stick an IOD label with my chapter name on it. So when they get their chocolates, they do get flooded with information about IODE. Some people just toss it aside, and others don't. And I usually put a sticker on anything that is reported about IOD Alberta chapters, so that people can see what Dardanelles have done, or Alpha Cuts, or anybody else. Because sometimes we get really good coverage in Echoes, so it's nice to give those out when we've got a chance to blow our own horn. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Valerie. Norma? Oh, there.
Try. Yes, I said, and I agree with so many of what others have said, because these are things we, as longtime IODE members, do you. But I think I have been able to speak to strangers about IODE without, and they listen, and they might not necessarily come at that time, but at least they get information on what the great story that IODE is, and how it's affected, influenced so many lives over the years.
Mhm.
So I like to share that with people. And recently I was at Parkwood with another member of my chapter laying a wreath, and I met our MP and his office staff, and I was telling her about IODE, and she said, "Yes, I went to the Canada breakfast in Dorchester." So, you follow up on incidences like these, and just talk to people, and they listen. And so in social settings, unfortunately, I have my first chapter disbanded in 2013, and I went to another chapter that disbanded in 2019. So my membership in Val Griffiths is fairly new. But over the years, I've invited several women to my other chapters who have joined. And so, yeah, I have been talking about IODE a lot. I bring friends to events and, encourage them to participate how they want to. So that is my strength and opportunity in talking about IODE.
Thank you, Norma. Janice?
Well, I'm going to say ditto to most of what everybody has said. It's been great because, I could read what I wrote, but it would just be repeating. What I feel that I am a good listener and I will answer questions. And I'm open to chatting about other things besides the IODE, because you never know what you find out about a person when you start sort of just generally talking about something else, and there's a connection with somebody, one of your members or whatever. I had that happen just recently. Try to be open and friendly and no pressure. I will never ever pressure somebody to try and get a member. One of the things that we have done is we've had coffee parties where we invited a couple of prospective members, and we just sat around and we chatted and had snacks. And in that case, I found out things about our members that I'd been with for years that I didn't know before, as they shared things with the possible new members. Out of that, there were two possibilities, and one joined and one didn't. And that was okay. But I always try to invite them to come to a meeting, scope us out, see whether you think we're the kind of people that you want to spend time with. I don't tell them that, but it's important that you feel comfortable, especially when you're the stranger coming into the group. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Janice. We're seeing some themes here as we go along, and inviting people to meetings and taking every opportunity that you can to talk about IODE and membership and the good works that are going on. Renata, did you want to add anything?
No, thank you.
Okay. And Diane, did you want to add anything?
Just it'll dovetail. I'm doing the segue to the next piece by doing this, Michelle. But
okay.
I think what's important. We're all very proud of IODE and our involvement and our colleagues and our sisters, which is quite wonderful. But I think we need to start from a different place when we're exploring potential members. And I think we need to start at where are the people at right now. And when we start with them, either through conversations or, you know, whatever, then sometimes there's a natural morph that happens that we don't even have to say it. It's just, we're living it. We're representatives of the organization we are proud of, and our behavior is demonstrating that. But we start with where the people are at. And if you will allow, Michelle, do you mind if I jump to the next one, or would you like to continue?
Oh, yeah, no, go ahead.
No, is that okay? There's a little bit of method to the madness, probably more madness than method, but we'll go with that. Now,
because this makes sense after what we were just sharing.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad it makes sense, Michelle. Good. There's hope. There's hope. Now, maybe you've heard of this before. Maybe it's brand new to you. Its origin started with a Toyota company in 1930. It is a very old technique, but one that works. And when we've been talking about how to either, and I'm using the example here of membership. I could use any one of 1,000 examples, but I'm using this one because in the context of our conversation today, it's asking why 5 times. And the first 2 are usually reasonably easy, but when you drill it down to the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th why, it's a little harder. And so I'm just going to walk you through this. This, as I said, will all be sent to you. And if anyone would like to have a larger, broader discussion on it and implementation, it will be my pleasure. Phone me or email me, and it'll be my pleasure. But if we take the subject of members, okay, so why do we want to attract them? Is it for revenue opportunities? Is it because we've got projects we'd like to implement? Is it because our membership has decreased due to circumstances out of our control? Why do we want to attract them? But it comes back to a little bit of taking our IOD hats off and putting ourselves in the place of the person we're speaking to, which goes to the second question. Why should they want to join IOD? You don't have to write this, Renata. Renata, don't worry. I'm sending the chart out, so don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. So what's in it for them? Why should they want to join? So we can probably think about a few reasons why they should, but it has to be centered on them, not us. And that's hard to do because we're so proud of what we do. And we have so many reasons to be proud of that. We're busy saying we are wonderful and here's why, rather than saying, what would your definition of wonderful look like? What lights you up? Where are your time, talent, and treasure? Where are you happiest? Doing what? And then you do the marriage. And then why, and also this is not an exercise you do once a month. It's usually an exercise you do when you're trying to build a membership campaign once a year. But we have to ask ourselves some tough questions. Why are we having challenges attracting some people? Are we getting in our own way? Are we, I don't know what those reasons could be, but like, these are hard questions and it does require some thought. You can't do it in 10 minutes. But, you know, why are we having challenges attracting them? Should we be doing something different? So the 4th one, why should we adapt our projects to accommodate them? So if we've always done these projects and someone arrives to us, and I'll give a very clear example, and it's a real life example. I had the privilege of speaking with a young woman. Well, I thought she was young. Her voice was awfully young. Turns out she's 49, so not all that young. In northern BC. And she wanted to start a thrift store. That was her big thrill. She had looked us up on the internet. She had looked up our website, but she told us, and I'm not going to give her name, but just a little bit of her story, that she had grown up in a financially disadvantaged family. And had it not been for the church and food banks, etc., that she would not have had warm clothes in the winter. And this is like 2025. I spoke with her the last few weeks. And so when you hear that, even if we don't have a thrift store located there, I think that we need to help her figure out how that could possibly happen where she lives, if that's possible. Because she's lit up on it. She's very, very, I mean, the motivation for wanting to do it, you can't get any more personal than that. And it speaks exactly to one of our core values. So that's where I say, should we adapt our projects to accommodate them? I don't have the yes or no answer to that, but I'm just saying it's one of the questions we could be asking ourselves when we're trying to reach members. And why is the other one, and they may seem to overlap, but they don't really. Why is it important that they be part of the chapter? We were talking about people, and I think, Colleen, it was yourself, you were referring to, you have people that do wonderful work as volunteers, but they just don't want to join. And I think it might have been another colleague referred to the fact that they just don't want to commit or can't commit or whatever that is. But those are some of the exercises that if we ask ourselves some of those tough questions, we will probably be surprised with some of the answers as a team that we'll discover. And often what ends up happening in this type of exercise, I'll turn it off so I can see your faces, which is always much more fun. The question, we end up in those type of exercises, we refine the way we go about doing something, and we also learn about ourselves, including some of our, dare I say, opportunities. I could say deficiencies. I could say weaknesses. I could say any of those words. But it's a really good way to build the team. It's a good way to build the team. It's a good way for us to get a real good temperature check on our chapter, what we're doing really well, what maybe not so much, or maybe we're happy with the way it is too. That could be one of the answers. So I will leave you with that tool. And but I found it, I've used it many different times in different things. Excuse me. But I found it to be useful. So hopefully you will as well. And as I said, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3:20 in the afternoon. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get brain dead. So I understand if you want to have a conversation on this separately, if you want to use it. So I'm going to go to the last slide. Michelle, just bear with me. I'm getting there. And you've been wonderful in even staying with us this long. I'm quite impressed. So those are the two questions.
The last, we were going to do the paper and pen, but I think we'll do what we did this morning, is just to anyone who wants to contribute and share their ideas, and we'll just do it in that way. So we had the two questions. One was how National can support the teams to our membership efforts, and how you can help National in membership efforts. So I'll just open it up to whoever is interested in sharing their ideas in membership, recruitment, retention, what has been helpful that National has done, what do you want National continue to do? Are there other things that are, it goes back to what Diane was talking about. Maybe there's some things that are not really helpful. Who knows? Like, we just want to hear from you. So one of the things we heard this morning, and that was something that I totally agreed on with, because it is my experience, is that the chats and the workshops from National have been very helpful, supportive. It's wonderful getting to know women from across Canada. And every time we do one, I learn something new. So there's always something that I come away with that I can use. And I think that is very powerful as an organization, and our cohesiveness and working together.
Everyone is scarily quiet. I'm terrified, really.
Maybe we should have served coffee.
Oh no, should have intravenous. Shoot it through the waves. You know, it comes through your screen like the vapors of caffeine. I will share a few things with you because nobody's speaking, and if everybody wants to jump in, feel free. There is a membership committee, as you know, and we created an exhaustive list of ideas as well, to which some of these conversations, the output from these conversations will be added. And the committee needs to land on the top 3. Okay, the list is very long. We have so many hours in a day. We have so much energy. So from now until June, we're going to land on 3 of them. And we're actually going to deliver on the 3 of them. It may be delivery work in progress. That'll be extended over to next fall. But it's going to be, we're going to take small bites, but bites that we really do master, that we've taken care of it and it's done properly. The other thing is that in my little journey, my not long journey so far in IOD national level, just bear with me for a minute. I have seen that we need what might be useful is what I call a national toolbox. And what that is a combination of some national tools that we have and some chapter tools. And I'll give you an example. There was someone that was speaking about having created what is known as an elevator speech. And for those who don't know what that is, it's where you are in a fictional scenario where you are going up the elevator with a very important CEO or an important person that you really need to get their attention. And you got 90 seconds to do it. What is it you say to them so that you will be able to secure that further meeting and that further conversation with them? So there was someone that had mentioned that they felt that they had created something that was interesting and was successful in their world for what we call the elevator speech or the pitch or whatever terms you want to use. That kind of thing might be integrated into this toolbox. So wouldn't it be lovely if from coast to coast to coast, the chapter success tools are able to be shared? Now, they may be adapted, and changed a little bit, but that's okay. So we get our collective wisdom going on this, and we get people to sit there and say, wow, I can use that. That's helpful for me. It's not exactly the same words because in my reality, it's a little different, but you be inspired by everyone's wisdom. So I'm just giving you a little bit of the lay of the land for the next 6 months from the national perspective. And
I think what you said were all quite relevant and very interesting. I have had a lot of primary chapters almost ask the provincial and the national chapter, how can we recruit new members? So what I was thinking of, and you were saying that it sounds like you have something in the national membership committee or office that is forthcoming, but I think it is kind of important that national takes the lead in doing something like a membership drive, because I think I remember the last membership drive that I remember that was done was when Patty Fabian was the membership officer. Sometimes the primary chapters are just waiting or looking for this kind of leadership from national. So I think if they start, then we follow. So I don't know what you have that you just mentioned that you have several ideas that you're doing, but it is so important that we share this and get the primary chapters to engage in it.
Thank you, Linda. It's on my to-do list. Colleen.
Yes, I think the idea of sharing how you obtained your members right across provinces is a very good idea. I like that. It gives everyone, I mean, it might not work for your chapter, but maybe one of the chapters along the way is very beneficial for them. Like everyone has different ideas, everyone has different concepts of how to obtain their membership and how it works best for your chapter. And sharing that information with others, I think, is 100% gold star.
Perfect. Well, it's because I've had the privilege of speaking to many across this country. And when I listen to it, I'm gobsmacked at the energy, the desire, the drive, the polish, the professionalism, and the genuine care. And I'm going, if we can bottle that somehow, and everyone has, of course, the freedom to tailor it to their reality. But I mean, that's where we'll come into the power, is by collectively drawing on the wisdom of areas. For example, you know, whether it's a thrift store or whatever, the example I gave of the gal in BC. I this morning, tonight, I'm going to bed. I've always had a great respect for IOD, at least I hope so. I better. But I'm going to bed with a very inspired vision based on these two workshops. So maybe Michelle and I worked on it. We did the grunt work in the back end there. But personally, I'll speak for myself. I am absolutely amazed at the wisdom, the care, the passion, the dedication. It's humbling. It really is very humbling. I'll say it is humbling. Witnessing it en masse with a lot of people. It's one-on-one is one thing, but en masse is really, wow. I better do right by you guys.
I would ditto that. It's been really a positive, enhancing opportunity to work together with Diane as National Membership Officer. And in looking at a common goal that we have, actually for all of us, you know, being part of IODE and welcoming others who want to be involved and can you know, share in that passion and the wisdom and the caring and the fun that came across loud and clear. The fun that we've had in being together and doing community work.